Dr. Ranganathan, first my question. What was being normalized here? Was Hindu phobia being normalized? Or Islamophobia being normalized? I can't seem to understand, because if it was Islamophobia that is being normalized, as some people have very eloquently posited, and I have read out those quotes for you, then how does the court end up suggesting what I have now brought to the notice of you and the viewers, that Tahir Hussain had a clear-cut objective to harm Hindus and their properties? Can you explain?
Good evening, Rahul. Look, I'm absolutely not surprised, not in the least, with all these skeletons tumbling out. Of course, we await, as you said, the final closure that can only happen through the hands of the judiciary. But the court's revelations of Tahir Hussein's paint a grisly picture, especially when it is disclosed that his mobs were chanting, "Teach Kafirs a lesson." These were the same Kafirs who voted for him. They elected him. But when it came to the deciding vote, he wanted them killed. He wanted them to be taught a lesson. And as for the genesis of these riots, Rahul, doubtless there was verbal provocation from both sides, but to put that as a reason that left 53 dead and 200 injured was ridiculous propaganda to begin with. It wasn't Kapil Mishra or Waris Pathan or Harsh Mandar, the men responsible for these riots, but people like Tahir Hussain and Farooqi. 1,300 people have been arrested, and they include roughly equal number of Hindus and Muslims. Both Hindus and Muslims took part, and both Hindus and Muslims lost their lives. You remove one set of names, you report one set of stories, you conceal one set of tragedies, and that is how you turn a riot into a pogrom. That's how you turn journalism into propaganda. Do they not see that if a Farooqiya madrasa was burned down, so was Arun Public School? That if a mosque was desecrated, so was a temple? And yet there are those who believe that Hindus weren't victims at all, that Ratan Lal wasn't stoned and shot, that Dilbar wasn't hacked and burnt alive, that Vinod wasn't lynched because his bike sported a Jai Shri Ram sticker, that temples weren't attacked and desecrated, that Arun Public School wasn't burnt to the ground, that Rahul Thakur wasn't shot to death, that acid and stones and petrol bombs weren't thrown from Tahir Hussein's roof, that Santosh didn't throw her 2 grandchildren from the window of her house that was set on fire, that Hindu Dalits Deepak and Lala weren't dragged and beaten by a bloodthirsty Muslim mob, that Hindu Dalit Shobha Ram's furniture shop wasn't reduced to ashes, that Hindu Dalit Dinesh Khatik wasn't cornered and lynched, that Vivek's skull wasn't drilled into by a Muslim mob, that Ankit wasn't stabbed multiple times after he was already dead. There has been a concerted attempt in the last 2 years to turn this riot into a pogrom. Facts paint a completely different picture. This isn't ancient Indian history that rent-a-penny leftist chauthi-fail historians can airbrush. This happened right before our very eyes, and that is what is shocking, Rahul. Imagine what happened in 2002, when there was no videos, when there was no mobile phones.
Well, let me go across